So we're still at the Nordic stand at Embedded World 2026, and I'm here with Gear, and we're about to talk about Fuel Gauge version 2. Now, Fuel Gauge is the software side of working with their power management chips, and I think a very good place to start would be, why do you need software for a power management chip?
Or why do you need a power management chip?
Well, yeah, an equally good question. Let's start with both of those, maybe.
If you're not a developer, it may not be obvious what a power management chip is. I have one here. This little one here in the middle of this board. So what it does is, everybody who's seeing this, you have some kind of device that you charge. And what happens is that when you plug in that charge cable, there's a chip in there that makes sure that whatever comes out of energy out of that cable gets put into the battery in a safe manner that preserves the battery longevity. And when you're done charging, the battery has to supply the rest of the electronics, and the same chip does that job as well. And that is known as a power management chip, or PMIC for short.
Absolutely, and people who have maybe got as far as working with things like development boards are probably used to the idea of you can actually do some kind of power conversion if you need to. There are dedicated battery modules. One of the big differences here on the hardware side is that instead of having a board with a lot of discrete components on, you have one chip, and that takes care of all of this for powering your MCU and charging your batteries. Is that correct?
A lot of times when people design a power management solution, they will typically use a number of chips.
Yes.
One to charge the battery, one to measure how much juice is left in the battery, and also known as fuel gauge, which we're going to be talking about. A buck converter or a boost converter to regulate the voltage, and a bunch of other chips. We put all of that into one, so that it gets cheaper, smaller, easier to design with. But fuel gauging is what we're talking about today.
Precisely, yeah, which it brings us on quite naturally to the question that now we understand exactly what a power management chip is and what it does. How does software fit into that idea? Because so far we talked about things that feel very electronic, very changing,
Very good point.
Yeah.
So, let's just explain what fuel gauging is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, could be obvious from the term, but maybe it isn't, but everybody wants to know how much battery do I have left, and when do I need to recharge? And that estimate should be as precise as possible. If you underestimate how much power you have left, your device runs out before you, let's say it goes black with 10% battery left, or giving you the illusion that it has 10% battery left. It's not a good experience. Sometimes it may be stressing you to recharge because it's approaching zero, but what you don't know is that there's 20% left there, but it's just not estimating it correctly.
Absolutely.
So having a precise estimate that not only gives you the illusion of you knowing what battery you have left, but actually knowing. And that is usually done, if that should be done precisely over temperature, you need an fairly expensive and fairly power-hungry external chips to do that. We do that differently. We put in some really small circuits in our PMICs, and then the software on the host can read out vitals from the battery, temperature, voltage, and current, and through a sophisticated algorithm, make very precise prediction of how much juice is left in the battery. So that was Fuel Gauge 1.0. And Fuel Gauge 1.0 uses a mathematical model of the battery to read those parameters, think, and figure out how much juice is left. The problem is with batteries, and everybody knows this, when you have had a device that you used for years and you charge it frequently, you have to charge it more and more frequently. And also it may die on you if you take it out in cold weather. That is because batteries age. And what happens when they age is that two things happen. They lose capacity and the internal resistance increases. The capacity loss is the most noticeable because you need to charge more frequently. And once you've gotten below 80% of the original capacity, this accelerates and goes really quickly. And I've had sports watch that could live for a week, and when I tossed it away, I had to charge it every 24 hours. Exactly. Now, when you as a manufacturer design a product, you know this is going to happen. You know that your product is going to be obsolete at one point because customers get fed up with how often they need to charge.
Yeah.
Now, if you could develop how that state of health of the battery, as we call it, develops over time, you can make adjustments to get that exactly where you want it.
Exactly, yeah.
For small devices, it's not maybe that useful to the end user to know what the state of health of the battery is, because they figured that out.
Yeah.
But for the manufacturer, let's assume you have 5 million devices out in the field.
Yeah.
You can see how that battery state of health is developing, and you can make adjustments to make sure that your batteries do not age too quickly.
Yeah.
Because if batteries lose their capacity so quickly, customers are going to get fed up, and they're going to get annoyed, and they're going to give you bad reviews,
Yeah.
and they're not going to buy your next product.
Absolutely, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's an interesting parallel, what with so many people talking about predictive maintenance, because in a way this is almost that, but for battery cells, isn't it? Yeah.
And what's going to happen in a couple of years from now in the EU, manufacturers are going to be forced to make the batteries user replaceable.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
And now you need to inform the users on when is the new time to replace your battery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I have here to demonstrate this,
Yeah.
I have these three gadgets.
Yeah.
These are called Thingy 91s.
Yeah.
They're not real gadgets, but they're development units.
Yeah.
They're rechargeable. They are cellular connected to the cloud. And what they do is that they report state of health.
Yeah.
We can see that they are indeed
Yeah, right here.
right here,
Yep.
and they are reporting battery state of health,
Yep.
but how many times the batteries have been charged
Yep.
over its lifetime, what the current battery state of charge is. It dropped while I was on my way yesterday.
Yep.
I had them running, and what the battery voltage is.
Yeah.
So all of that is now available, and this is the curve. If you see this one starting to go down too fast,
Yeah.
you know that your customers' batteries are going to be really, really bad really, really soon.
Yeah.
And you can adjust that by charging them a little less aggressively, for example, and make sure that you end up with obsolescence time that fits what the customer expectation is.
Absolutely.
And the thing is that you cannot model this in a lab. You cannot prototype this. You cannot make 5 million pieces and have them run for 5 years to see how they develop and then launch the product.
Yeah.
You launch the product,
Yeah.
and then what's going to happen? Until now, you didn't know.
Yeah.
Now you can know.
Exactly.
Yes, that's the thing.
Absolutely, and I mean, and as I said before, the one of the big things about being able to predict this stuff, or at least have data that is available to you,
Yes.
is that this not only changes the way that you will be designing these things going forward, but it allows you to make adjustments to things that are already consumer products. And as you say, I think it's a wonderful thing that people are going to be allowed to change the batteries in their devices. But without knowing this, it would be a very difficult thing.
Exactly.
So
But you bring up a good point.
Yeah.
If somebody has designed in a product with a NPM 1300 or 1304 today, that is either going to launch now and is already launched,
Yeah.
you can update your customers' devices with this
Yes.
now,
Yeah.
and you can make this happen.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I mean, I think a lot of folks who watch this may have had some kind of Nordic development kit or board at some point. They may already actually have one of the power management chips on it and they don't realize it.
Yes.
However, this is, since we're specifically talking about the fuel gauging software side of things, if people wanted to learn about this and how they could use it as part of the power chain of the next thing that they make, what's the best way? Is there a development kit designed specifically for this kind of use, or would you do this with a regular dev
We're
kit?
going to explain how we did this on the 91X
Yeah.
using memfault technology that we had acquired some time back.
Yeah.
And this is a cool thing. This is when Nordic is now becoming a total solutions provider instead of just being a Bluetooth company.
Yeah.
So here's a PMIC,
Yep.
here's a cellular modem,
Yep.
and here's the cloud.
Yep.
And out of the cloud comes the data.
Yep.
And it's NPM, it's NRF,
Yep.
and it's memfault, and NRF cloud.
Absolutely, and all of this stuff fits into the existing Nordic sort of developer library that already exists. So if I'm messing around at home and I want to stop trying to learn how to do Bluetooth channel sounding and I want to learn about this, I already have everything I need. I can just use the things that Nordic already provides. Is that correct?
Absolutely. The software that does this
Yeah.
is a part of our SDK,
Right.
our software library.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it's just plugged into the development ecosystem.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, if anyone wants to find out more about how they can get started with the entire range of what Nordic does, as always, there will be links under this video. And we talked about a lot of these things on launch. But yeah, as mentioned, all of this fits into the NRF Connect SDK. And Nordic also has a fantastic set of general purpose tutorials on how you can get started with any of this stuff. But I think this has been a fantastic explanation of both how the hardware and the software side works when it comes to battery management that a lot of people may not even realize. Gear, thank you so much for that. Have a great day.
Thank you.